What's up everyone, welcome to today's video. I hope you're all doing very good as always. If you're new around here, my name's Chadwick, this is Action Makes More, and in today's video we're going over my top 3 favourite ab exercises I have been doing during lockdown. Now, like usual, for the last few weeks I know that gyms have been reopened again, and for that reason I'm going to show you how we can incorporate these exercises into your gym routines. But as I say, this is just mainly based on my top 3 favourite exercises. Alongside that, going through how you can get your abs to pop and show through your shirt. So with that being said guys, let's get into today's video. Right then guys, so as you can probably see behind me, we have a pull-up bar with some belts in it. Bit strange, yes I know, but the belts are there for ab straps or arm straps, so to say. So the first exercise I like to do is hanging leg raise. I do this one first because it is the most intense exercise. Overall, it is my go-to, and I mean absolute go-to exercise when it comes to building your abs. It places the whole core and obliques under tension, and it's a very good exercise, as I say, for making the abs pop and contracting. And it's a very good exercise for really building a strong core. As for how many times I train abs a week, I would usually say about once a week is fair enough, you know. Any more than that, you're probably doing it a little bit too much, unless you're a beginner and you're looking to really build your core. And you can possibly look at training it twice a week. The thing is with your abs, you also work it a lot with your compound movements, squats, deadlifts, you know, even things like chest press, because you're holding your shoulders back and you're keeping your core tight. I use one specific day a week, and I usually do it as an active rest day rather than at the end of a session, so that I'm not mentally fatigued and I'm physically fatigued, and I can get the most out of the workout that I can. But with that said guys, let's get straight into the hanging leg raise. So the idea for the straps guys, the reason I use straps is because obviously when you're doing a hanging leg raise, just hanging on with your hands, you know, your grip might slip a bit. Especially when it comes to beginners, you're not going to have the upper arm strength and upper body strength in order to hold yourself up too well. So what you want to do, obviously I know I'm using belts. As I say, I'm still in lockdown, so do not judge me. It's still effective. Get them right underneath your armpits, hold on to the bar, and obviously if you've got shorter arms, feel free to hold on to the belts. Now when you're first doing this exercise, you're going to have a little bit of swing, but the more you do it, the better you'll get at it. Just a little side note guys, you don't have to go all the way up. If you find that too hard, you can just bring your knees up. As you guys can tell, that exercise is an absolute killer. Recommendation is not to go to failure, go to technical failure. So just before you start swinging too much, you know, when you notice that you start swinging and you can't really feel the contraction in your core as much, that's when I would stop. Have a rest. It doesn't have to be 30 seconds, it could be 2 minutes, fully recuperate, get back into it, into another set. And I would probably say about 3 sets of this on up to technical failure. Write it down, and over the course of a few weeks look to improve the amount of reps you do. With that said, let's move into the next exercise. Action. Say action.
Action.
Yes guys, so we are outside in the mobile home gym. Give it a little shot. As you can see, we have got the basics that we do need in order to get a decent little workout here in the home garden. My brother is behind the camera. Chrissy, feel free to say hi.
Alright mate.
So moving on to the second exercise that I like to do during lockdown. I apologise in advance if you can hear a lawnmower. That's sort of like I live out here. But basically we are moving on to the ab roller. The ab roller is a great exercise for the whole of the core. It introduces a bit of balance and a little bit of concentric and eccentric work within it. Key takeaways when using the ab roller is that you want to make sure when you're coming up, you squeeze your abs together and try keep a little curve in your spine. Try extend your spine ever so slightly when you come up so you don't injure yourself, as when you go down you're going to feel your spine wants to flex. You've got to make sure you keep a tight core when doing this exercise, otherwise you can injure yourself. That also goes for your shoulders as well. Obviously this exercise is for intermediate lifters, you know, people who have lifted for a little while and know what to really do within the gym. However, beginners can still do a variation of this exercise. It just might take a little bit of working to get into, as it is a very hard exercise. And so for that we would use an incline bench. Now I know this bench isn't very inclined, but we can work with it ever so slightly to make it an incline. And for that reason, some of you guys may have access to a gym at the moment, and because of that you can start off by doing an incline leg raise. This is the sort of thing that happens when you don't have a proper gym at hand. And so, let's go again. If you are a beginner and you can't really do a full ab roll, what you do is an incline leg raise, like so. If you are a beginner and you are doing leg raises, you can slowly make it harder for yourself by upping the incline to a higher level in order to get to the position where you can start doing an ab roller. With that said, let's get straight into the ab roller. Like I say guys, this is an exercise that you want to practice more so before you go ahead and work it into your routines, because the form is almost essential when it comes to this exercise. Keep a tight core at the top. When you come down, a lot of you will probably only be able to get to here if you've never done it before, and that's fine. Come back up, making sure you contract your abs, not using your arms, and don't allow your arms to go too far forward in an abnormal position. But if you aren't new to it and you know what you're doing, you'll probably be able to do it where you go all the way to the ground. Squeeze your abs and back up. And so now guys, let's get straight into 10 reps, which is what I would usually do, of 3 sets for this exercise. Well, actually guys, that one was ever so slightly too hard, mainly because we are on the grass at the moment, and with more grass means more friction. So when you're in a gym, maybe avoid using mats and just use the hard floor and put something to soften the blow for your knees, and it'll be a lot better for you. Moving on, let's get straight into what we got over here. Moving on, we've got the resistance band crunch. Don't get me wrong guys, I do believe that using your body weight for abs is a great thing to do, using that as supersets. However, I also like to add a bit of resistance, whether it be a weighted crunch or whether it be cable crunch. I quite enjoy doing cable crunches, mainly because I haven't got anything else. With this exercise guys, it's a bit of a strange one to get into, but once you get the nick for it, it's absolutely fine. You want to come down onto your knees. You want to keep the bands behind your head, like so. When you come down, make sure you squeeze your core together rather than pull it down with your lats or anything along those lines. especially when it comes to doing resistance band crunches or any sort of weighted resistance training. When it comes to abs, I would do about 3 sets of 10 to 12 reps. With resistance, you can apply more progressive overload through more resistance over the weeks. It's a great exercise to use as an isolation exercise. That's what I think.
Yeah.
So then guys, a couple of points I forgot to mention yesterday whilst recording this video. The first one being breathing. When doing abs, obviously in general when doing resistance training, breathing is very vital, and you need to make sure you get that under control and learn how to do it efficiently. But whilst training abs is extra important, because when contracting, if you exhale, you're contracting your abs even more, and that gets a really good contraction. As we all know, the contraction is where the magic happens. Secondly, I didn't talk about how you can get your abs to pop. Now, in order to make your abs pop, guys, you can't just train them all the time and expect them to pop. If you've got a fatty layer there, then they are not going to show. So what you really need to focus on, obviously alongside training them, is reducing your body fat. Obviously reducing body fat is a lot easier said than done, but if you want to check out my video on how maintenance calories and all that sort of thing work and how you go into a deficit, click the video up there. But with all that being said, that is pretty much the end of the video. Let me know, all of you down below in the comments, what you think I could add to these videos to make it more helpful for you guys, obviously provide more value sort of thing. Also, let me know down in the comments what your favourite ab exercises to do are. I would be very intrigued to know. And with that said, if the video provided you some sort of value, don't forget to leave it a like, tell me that it did. Subscribe to the channel. We have got videos coming out every single Friday, and with your help down below, I will know exactly what you guys want to see. And so with that being said, have a great weekend. Until next time guys, peace.